Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to another installment of Cooking with Katie on Fridays, and I am extra excited about this recipe because it is a cauliflower mac and cheese. So if you guys don't already know, cauliflower is like the biggest rage right now. At Trader Joe's, we sell, I don't know, like 10 different things that are made from cauliflower. We have cauliflower rice, we have cauliflower pizza crust, we have a stir fry that's made with cauliflower, mashed potatoes with cauliflower, the list goes on and on. So one thing we don't have though is cauliflower mac and cheese. I just figured what better way to make something that is delicious and nutritious all in one. I'm always looking for something healthy but also edible for my 1.5-year-old son to eat. So I'm super excited to try out this recipe. I haven't made it before, but it just looks amazing. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you guys the ingredients that I'm working with, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the cooking portion. All right, guys, so the first ingredient on the list is going to be some almond milk, or you can use regular milk, whichever you prefer. We don't buy milk, so this is the milk we're using. A clove of garlic, 2 egg yolks, some cayenne pepper, cauliflower, nutritional yeast, breadcrumbs, flour, some butter, and the main and best ingredient, sharp cheddar shredded cheese. First step is going to be to pretty much make the head of cauliflower into medium-sized florets. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm just going to go ahead and chop up some of the bigger pieces that I have of the cauliflower because it did say medium size. I don't want these bites of cauliflower mac and cheese to be like too big. So the next step is going to be adding, I have a pot of water here and I'm just going to salt it. Just a little bit of salt in here. I always use kosher salt to salt my water. We're going to heat this water up and get it to a boil. And then we are also going to set our oven to 350 so it can preheat while the florets are boiling in the water. Now that my pot of water is boiling, I'm going to go ahead and add the florets that I already chopped up. And these are going to be in the water for 5 to 7 minutes until they're tender but not too soft. While the cauliflower is boiling, I'm going to go ahead and chop the 1 clove of garlic. So just 1 clove, and you're just going to finely dice it. My cauliflower florets just finished boiling. It took about 6 minutes till they were just tender. You don't want to over boil them. So I'm going to go ahead and strain them. Now, this recipe calls for 1 cup of the boiled water, and I cannot tell you guys how many times I forget this part of any recipe. If it calls for saving any of like the pasta water or any of the water that you're supposed to boil, I forget literally every time. So today I got smart and I decided while I'm straining it, I put the measuring cup underneath my strainer. And this is why it's great to have a counter or an over the sink strainer because it just hangs out and you can put something underneath. While the cauliflower is just hanging out, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 tablespoons butter in the same pot, and we're going to put it at medium-low heat. And we're adding 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour to the butter mixture, and then we're going to whisk consistently for 1 minute. I'm now going to add the 1 cup of cooking liquid that I reserved to the butter and flour. And then we're doing 2 cups of milk. And then we are adding our garlic that we already minced up. Now that all my ingredients are in this pot, you are going to whisk this continuously for 7 to 10 minutes. And you really want, it's going to be the base of your mac and cheese. So you want it to be a thicker sauce. So whisking it is very important and just keeping it nice and creamy, and you don't want it to get clumpy. So continuously mix 7 to 10 minutes on medium heat. I've been whisking my sauce for about 8 minutes. It is perfectly thickened, and I'm going to turn off the heat. And now I'm going to add the remaining ingredients. So we're going to start with 2 cups of the extra sharp cheddar cheese, a half cup of nutritional yeast, 2 egg yolks, and a pinch of cayenne pepper. Then you're going to go ahead and combine all these ingredients into the sauce until they're well mixed and melted. We're going to go ahead and fold in the cauliflower that has been in the strainer, and we're almost done for the last finishing steps before we pop it into the oven. So guys, as I was mixing the cauliflower in with the cheese, I kind of realized there wasn't enough cauliflower. The recipe calls for 8 cups, and it just said 1 large head of cauliflower, and I thought I had enough, but it just seems like it's drowning in the sauce. So I went ahead and I had a half of a bag of organic rainbow cauliflower from our frozen section, and I just microwaved that real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and add that also to this mix, and hopefully that'll be enough. I think that's much better. It looks like it's coating the cauliflower more evenly, and it's not like a big soup that they're all swimming in. So the next step is going to be spraying our Pyrex 9x13 baking dish with just some canola spray. We're going to go ahead and add the cauliflower mixture into the Pyrex pan. So the whole house smells amazing. This smells so good. I want to just like eat it right now, but it's not ready. So the last step before we put it in the oven is going to be adding our breadcrumbs. That's 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs that we're just going to top all on top of this. So now we're going to pop it into the oven. Again, that's set at 350. It's going to be in the oven for 30 minutes or until it's starting to bubble and the breadcrumbs are browned on top. I just pulled the cauliflower mac and cheese out of the oven, and it was in there for about 40 minutes because I was concerned the breadcrumbs didn't seem to be getting browned, and they still aren't, like, they're a little bit brown, but not to the extent that I was hoping for, but I felt like leaving it in any longer than 40 minutes would just be excessive. So I took it out. I'm going to let it cool a little bit before I try it. Then I will taste test it and let you guys know if it is good or not. Alright guys, the moment of truth. I'm going to take my first bite. This is really, really good. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. It's a little less cheesy than I thought it was going to be, but the flavor is like on point. I'm going to plate this for my son today so he can have for lunch, and I'm sure my husband will have a bowl as well. So all in all, I would say this is definitely a win in my book. This recipe is amazing, and it does take a little bit of time, so, you know, if you have the time, I suggest you make it. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Make sure to share the videos as well, and I will see you guys in my next video.